Blog Talk Radio. Chatting with Nat is a podcast for independent women seeking to speak their truth and to break down barriers. We host honest conversations that help to guide and empower women. Speak your truth and set yourself free. Let your voice be heard. Hi everyone, this is Chatting with Nat. Yes, it's Natalie Jean, it's Natalie Jean. Today we have the honor of having singer-songwriter Brei Carter. Growing up in Monroe, Louisiana, Brei was determined to use the skills she learned in her church choir and from those she loved to bring her dreams of singing country music to life. Brei has quickly established herself in the songwriters community as a smooth and sometimes edgy songstress who melds country, soul, and southern pop into one fused style. With a growing catalog of singles, this young singer-songwriter is a welcome addition to the emerging new styles of the country music community. Let's give her a round of applause. Hi, Brei. How are you?
I'm good. How are you, Nat?
Just hanging in a pandemic. trying to stay alive, trying to understand where we are in this world.
Trust me, I totally understand that. I think we're all kind of in that boat right now. I mean, the uncertainty and just trying to weave through things and figure out how things are going to be going forward.
Yeah, I don't know. Every day you wake up, it's like a new variant, moo, shoo, lulu. I don't know. I'm just, after a while, they'll be naming variants after all of us. It's just crazy. But how have you been doing this entire pandemic?
Overall, I've been doing pretty good. I think the biggest thing is not really being able to spend time with your family. And also losing loved ones and different people like that. So I think, unfortunately, this pandemic has caused a lot of us to be desensitized.
Amen to that. Did you do any live streaming?
I did. I did some live streaming. I didn't do a whole lot because it just seemed like everything was completely shut down. So the dynamics of everything were just totally different. The great thing is that now I'm starting to do some live shows and some live streaming, so that's kind of helping and what have you.
Yeah, live streaming was a great tool. I never used to do it until B Squared Management was like, okay, why don't you try this? And I was like, okay, let me try it. It was really interesting because there'd be times there would be a lot of people, and there would be a few. Then I'd be singing to myself. But then I took that as, a way of practicing my music because as I get older, my God, I can remember everything. Oh. Mash all my songs together. It's okay. Nobody knows. I'll throw in some words and just to see if anybody's paying attention. So that was an interesting thing, this live streaming, and it also gave us another avenue if anything else like this happens, or an additional avenue to be able to express ourselves in music. Now, I ask everyone this question. During the pandemic, obviously, we had a year off, kind of, and time to self-reflect about, what they wanted to do with their lives. I have colleagues that decided that they were going to, take a step back from work. They said, I'm going to cut back on hours because they realized, they weren't spending enough time with their family. Some colleagues quit their jobs. I actually read an article that there was a great percentage of people that quit their jobs because they wanted to do something that made them happy rather than looking for, the money.
For sure.
With climate change, the weather was just like, what? Mother Nature, the birds, the animals ran out into the street because nobody was there and feeding their world. And Mother Nature was like, this is just lovely. It's sad that there's a pandemic, but we can breathe out here, y'all. So, an artist, like I was telling somebody else, one artist I know took all her music down. She wanted to rebrand everything. And some people wanted to be more an effective player with their music. They want to make a difference. So during this pandemic time, this downtime, did you think about how you want to be perceived as an artist? Did anything change? Did things just stay the same for you?
Well, you know what? It's something you say that I heard about. I hear people always talking about, oh, we had all this downtime. You can hone in on your craft a little bit more. Unfortunately, everyone didn't have that downtime, like being an essential worker too. Like music is first and foremost in my love. But when the bills have to be paid, when you're not able to do shows and you're not able to be out there, it makes a huge difference because you still have mortgages to pay. You still have to take care of your family. And although, in a sense, work stops for a lot of people and the world is kind of at a standstill, so to speak, it was like, no, I think during this pandemic and other areas, I was forced to work even more. So that was kind of hard, and I have friends that were like, oh, my goodness, I had a chance to do this. I got a chance to write all these songs, and I got a chance to write and do those things. But for me, life didn't slow down. It just seemed like it picked up even more because just having responsibilities of helping your parents and family and close friends and what have you, when people depend on you, it's just like, okay, yeah, you guys get to take a break, but if I'm being, real with myself, I can't afford to take a break because when all this is over, okay, and unfortunately people are dealing with it now with the eviction moratorium coming to an end, and some people still aren't working, and the unemployment benefits running out for many. So I had to, at that point, take a step back and take a huge leap forward to kind of do something else to kind of help supplement my income. So then I would still be able to do my music, my love and my heart. So it was just a little different for me. I think as an artist, I still have the same thoughts about myself. I wanted eventually someday I'd love to be a household name. I want to make a difference. I want to leave my footprint truly. And I know a lot of people truly say this. Being in the military in the past, I think that unfortunately there's a ton of vets out there. Once you sign on the dotted line, for good, for bad, for worse, for ugly, whatever, when you come back home, whether it's been war, whether you've done your time in, or whether you've gotten booted out, whatever the case may be, it's like there's nothing left for these people. And my heart just totally goes out and it really melts. So as an artist, one of my platforms is going to be to kind of do something more for the veterans. So it's just amazing just to see how things are. And then just mental health. Just mental health is huge, especially with having to deal with this pandemic. Losing loved ones, not being able to see your family, not being able to see your friends. And I think one of the things that has just gotten to me the most with this pandemic is that as humans, we're individuals where touch is essential, where it's important. Where the hug has kind of gone away, the handshake, the touch, and everyone's a 6 foot distance, and even more, and everyone's afraid of this, that, or the other. And I just think that without there being touch and without there being the communing or and the true full affection with one another as individuals, whether it's family, friends, strangers, and what have you, I think it's just caused a greater rift in the world. And I think all of that saddens me even the more. So I just want to, as an artist, I want to figure out what I can do to help bridge the gap with some of that, because music sees no colors. It sees there's no racial lines. There's no economic status or any of that. Music is music, and it's universal. So I think I still want to do something along those lines where I can make a difference.
Yeah, and that's a beautiful thing, because a lot of people out there, I would say 50%, everybody wants to be in the same game and stuff like that. And obviously we want to make money. But I think it's more important when you can make a difference with your music somehow. And it doesn't have to be a social impact thing, but it can be, something about love or something about depression or whatever that really affects the person. I during the pandemic, I was working, but I was working from home. So, but to piggyback off of what you said about helping others, I was with my mom and my uncle, so I was helping them do all these PPPs, their unemployment. Whoo, child! Don't get me started with the unemployment.
Exactly.
Gasoline.
Girl.
That mess. Gasoline, because. If I tell you how many hours I logged in on the phone trying to get through the unemployment, it was ridiculous. I mean, it's just a stressful situation. It's just,
Girl, yes.
It's too much. And yes, I agree with you about writing songs for the veterans. I wrote a song last or the year before last about homeless veterans, and you know, it's truly sad how we in America treat our veterans. And you know, it's interesting, like, and I'll touch on the vaccines just a little bit here. I'm not a person that wanted to get vaccinated. I don't want that crap in my system, but I did it so that America can move on, and so that I can travel. Yeah, I need to get out there. But it's funny to me how people will praise military people, and you know, they say, yeah, you know, these men, women, dogs, whatever, they go out and they save our lives, save our freedom and stuff like that. Yet these are the same people that are refusing to get vaccinated to save the freedom of Americans, to prevent Americans from dying in the United States. While I do understand why people don't want it, I didn't want it, still don't want it.
For sure.
But it's in my system. And I respect people not wanting it. But in order to move forward, because I'm tired of staying at home, I'm tired of wearing a mask, and I'm sure a lot of people are tired of a mask.
Right. Girl, I can't even breathe half the time sometimes when I have the mask. I'm like, oh my goodness, I need to take a break.
It's hot.
And it's just like, it's unbelievable.
We need to move forward. And so, you know, while people praise others for sacrificing their lives, we too have to make some sacrifices for the people around us. I mean, how long can we stay like that?
Amen.
How long?
Can I say amen?
I heard.
Can I say amen?
I heard amen. That's my little tidbit on that. Now, how important is it for you to be an authentic artist? You know, just speak your.
You know, it's very. You know what? It's very, very, very important. And the reason that it's important, and let me say this, put it out there first. I'm not a saint. Girl, all of us have made mistakes. I've made probably my share and probably someone else's share of mistakes as well, you know, growing up and just going through life and what have you. Mm-hmm. But it's very important to me because life, one, I just think it's so precious. And I only have, it's taken a long time, I'll be honest, for me to embrace and celebrate my quirkiness, you know, my upbringing, how I am and what have you. And I can laugh at myself. I'm like, oh, I'm such a cornball, ha, ha, ha. And before I would have been kind of shying away from that or kind of, you know, feeling a certain way. But you know what? It's me, and it's authentically me, and I'm not the cool cat, so to speak, or the super cool person. And I am a giver, and I'm a nurturer and all those things. And, you know, and sometimes being burned, I'm like, okay, do I really want to be this person? But then because I do have a strong foundation in God and in church and what have you growing up, and as an adult, it's my choice to continue to serve God because I do know without him, I wouldn't be here. So I do, you know, I don't try to push my beliefs off on anybody. But as for, you know, Scripture says, that's for me and my house. Well, as for, I can't speak for anyone else. As for me, I'm serving the Lord because I just wouldn't be here without him. So that's just so important for me. And with that being important, it doesn't mean that in reality I'm human. So I've made mistakes. I probably will make more mistakes. But I try to make sure that, you know, and I wrote a message the other day because I'll get up in the morning, I'll pray, I'll meditate, and then I'll read a couple of scriptures, and I'm like, okay, Lord, what's the message? What do you want me to tell people today? And the message that was from yesterday was pretty much know who you are. And we need to know who we are, whose we are, who we belong to. And instead of us believing what maybe society has told us, or maybe someone said, oh, you're not good enough, you're nothing, whatever, don't believe all of that hype. Know who you are inside, true and true. And I just think once you realize that you are special, that you are important, there's no one else out there. And I heard a sermon this morning as I was in the shower getting ready and stuff like that to get out for the day. And it said, you know what, when you think about it, there are no two snowflakes that are the same. No 2 grains of salt are the same. No 2 grains of pepper are the same.
Right.
I am different. There's no one else out there like me. There may be similarities, but there's no one else that's me. And it's taken a long time, but girl, you know what? I'm happy to be me. And I kind of, it's, huh?
Amen. Crazy.
I kind of say, you know, and I heard this from a friend years ago, but it's kind of my motto now. You hear people say, well, I'm just going along with the program, or I'm just such and such. My big thing now is go where you're celebrated. Be where you're celebrated with the people, what have you, where you're celebrated and not tolerated. I don't want somebody to just tolerate. Screw that.
Amen.
I want to be celebrated because I'm going to celebrate you and everyone that's in my world and everyone's, unique difference.
I agree with you 100%. What was it about the music business that made you say, whoa, this is me, I've got to do this? Is it something that you heard? Is it something that you saw? Gave you that, it just gave you that signal that this is what you're supposed to be doing.
You know what? I actually, growing up in the church, so I grew up in the church choir, being from Louisiana originally. All my aunts, our church, Lone Star Missionary Baptist Church, it's still there. Everyone in the family, all of my mom's siblings, everyone was in the choir. My grandmother was in the choir. My grandfather could sing, but he wasn't in the choir. He was a deacon. He was on the deacon board. And cousins that could sing, I never really found my voice as I was getting older. But when I take a step back, when I lived, and my story also was kind of like from the bayou to the bay, and then back to the bayou. So lived in Louisiana, moved to the West Coast, LA, San Francisco, was also in Oregon for a while. And then parents, unfortunately, divorced, separated, and then my mom and I moved back, down south, back to Louisiana. So that's why I kind of say from the bayou to the bay and back to the bayou. So with saying that, just the upbringing and the things that I've seen, I just think it's just made a huge difference.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, let me tell you, music is a beautiful thing. Music is such a beautiful thing.
You know what? So music, when I say it's universal, so I listen to all types of music growing up. But the other thing, I have people in my family that were like distant cousins that my mom and my aunts that they knew growing up. Because I remember being a little girl and my mom, like Melvin, and he went by the name of Blue of the Temptations. That was my mom's, I think, her second cousin or something. So when we lived in California, my mom used to always go to the Temptations, she'd go to the concerts, all this stuff, and they all used to keep in touch. So it was just amazing, with his deep baritone voice, and amazing. And then other people in the Detroit area on my grandma's side that were in the music industry, I think it was just something. And my mom always had a beautiful voice, and she'd sing. And sometimes I'm like, okay, Mom, you're singing enough. But in being true to myself, I love to hear her sing and my aunts and everyone else, but I didn't find my niche in it, so I kind of strayed away. I do dance, I do public speaking, but then when my biological father passed away, it was just like, you're supposed to do this, because it was always something itching in me. Because I even said it when I was in college. They were like, if you could do anything, what would it be? It was always something like I would be an actress, thought about being a lawyer at some point in time. But then I said, no, I'd love to be a country singer. And it brings me back to that time when I was like 7 years old living in San Francisco, when fear was not part of my vocabulary. And I just didn't care, because as little kids, we do things more unafraid and we take chances and what have you. I remember being on stage, girl, singing Gloria Gaynor, I Will Survive. And it just, and I can still picture now seeing that little girl seeing me and that little girl today. So I knew back then at 7 years old that I wanted to do it, but I didn't find the strength to do it until I think my biological father passed away. And I just started learning more and more stuff about my dad, my family, and then just kind of, sometimes we bury things deep below trauma and different things that we've gone through and what have you. And I just kind of started digging things back up and resurfacing things and, and asking questions and just learning more. And I just knew this is why all these years, because I heard people say, oh, country music, why do you want to do country? And I'm like, first of all, I'm from the country. my mom's like, I've always loved boots since I could wear shoes. I've always wanted these little cowgirl boots or cowboy boots. So I've always loved boots. It's always been a part of who I am. So as an adult, now I'm probably maybe a little excessive. I have over 100 pair of cowgirl boots, but nonetheless, I love my boots. I love my boots. So it's just amazing. So I think it's always been there. And then as of late, people are like, why country? Why country? And I'm like, it's not that I chose country. Country is in me. It's in my veins. It's in my blood. It's who I am. So I have to be true to who I am and not stray away to what society thinks I should be in neo-soul, R&B, or jazz or blues and all these other things. I have to be what's true to myself and what's inside of me. So it's country music. So, yeah, so here I am today, and I've quit corporate America to do music full time. Things have gotten really expensive because as an entrepreneur, it takes money to make money and to pour into myself, because I've just made a lot of sacrifices for friends and family in my life. I do music now for me and to be able to give back to others. So now, and I've never been a selfish person, but when it comes to my music, I've chosen to be selfish once in my life. But hey, you know what? You invest and do so much for everyone else. You know what? This is about you right now. And you know what? If you don't do it for you, honestly, no one else is going to do it. It goes back to what we were talking about. Love. When you love. We need more love. In the pandemic, wrote a song called Breakout Love. So I think love is important. But at the same time, if you're not loving on yourself, you can't expect anyone else to love and embrace you too.
Amen.
That's kind of where I am.
Appreciate loving. It's true. I always say that. You know, I post these inspirational quotes every single day. And during a week, I was posting about loving yourself. If you can't love yourself, don't expect anybody else to love you, because it comes from you first. Comes from
right.
Same way with music. If you don't love the music you're putting out there, don't expect anybody to love it too, because it's the energy that you're putting in music. You listen. I tell people, if you can't listen to your song on repeat for 100 times, don't put it out. I can do that. I can listen to all my music all the time.
Girl, right. Me too. Look.
And I tell
my music. I'm like, oh, I want to hear that.
Yeah. Oh, look, I'll listen to YouTube videos. I said, oh, Natalie, you did your thing. Yes, I talked to the TV. And I say, yeah, Natalie. Right. Yes, it's okay to uplift yourself. No, I agree with you 100%. Now, let's talk about country music. Because country music
let's talk.
And Black people are coming to, we're coming to another level now. Now, we've always been there, probably in the shadows, but we've always been there. I mean, there's several Black artists, country artists that have been in the forefront, but now we've had to fight to get to the forefront because you know how things are. Anyway, so, you know, the whole deal with Morgan, let's talk about Morgan Wallen. Here's the thing. Yeah, I said with you.
Just a good old boy, never meaning no harm. Just a good old boy, never meaning no harm. That song comes up. Go ahead.
When that whole, I didn't even know who he was, to be honest with you. And when the whole thing happened, you know, I went on Instagram and I saw this woman talking, apparently with his sister, Ashlyn Wallen. And I made a comment on something that somebody said, and then she came back and she said something to me, and then we private messaged, and we had this long conversation to the point we ended up exchanging emails, and we were supposed to work on this project, but she's been busy and I've been busy. So I gave her a certain point of view of things, because the people who are on her page are becoming very nasty on both sides. And I don't use that word. It is the base.
I don't use it either.
Resistance. And I try to explain to her what blacks don't understand, because I started with the black side. The blacks that use it is that they've been conditioned to believe that about themselves. They will never be able to change the word. There's a history attached to it. And I said, black people, for what I know, are the only race that would pick a name that is so derogatory towards them to uplift them, which doesn't make any damn sense. Now, the people that called them that in the beginning knew what they were doing, because in the 21st century, why would this word still exist? It makes no sense. Who's kept it? Yes, white people use it. All kinds of people here. But I also mostly blame black people for keeping it here, because they've kept it alive by calling their brothers.
I agree.
Listen, by calling their brothers, by doing this, by doing that. Time when other races say, nobody should be saying it, period. I don't care. Oh, I was drunk, this, that. You know you shouldn't be saying. You said it.
Well, you know what? Wait, stop there before you finish your thought. I was drunk saying it. A drunken mouth speaks a sober mind. We all know that when you're drunk, when you're inebriated, you know, your inhibitions are a little bit lower. Sometimes it's unfortunate. Sometimes your truth comes to light. Your truth will come to light. You'll speak your mind. You'll speak your piece. You know, good, bad, ugly, whatever it is, you will speak it, and you'll let loose and you'll let go. So it makes a huge difference. But when people I hear, because I don't use it either, but I've heard people use it, and I think the thing of it is, and my thing is, you know what? Any color, technically any race could be an N-word. Right. Because it's someone that's dumb and illiterate, ignorant, and illiterate. So with saying that, you know what? Unfortunately, when Morgan did that, Morgan was being one of those things. When he was behaving like that. That's the unfortunate thing. So I think it's crazy. But some people are like, oh, don't forgive him, don't such and such. You know what? My philosophy is everyone makes mistakes. Let them learn from his mistakes. People need to learn. What are people doing so then they're more aware of their situation? Do they go back behind closed doors and act like this didn't happen, and, oh, yeah, he did it? Because the things that people say, words are so powerful. And words can breathe life into someone, or they can kill someone. They can really damage and hurt someone. So we have to be careful. And if you've done things with your words that have caused, distraught and turmoil to other people's lives, it's for you to come to them and apologize and be sincere. And it's for you to figure out what you need to do so you don't repeat those things and not try to hurt people. Because in music, with music being universal and everyone loving music, why would you want to say and do things to hurt other people that's derogatory towards other people? That's not right.
No, it isn't right. And some people are upset with this cancel culture. I'm here for it. I'm sorry. There are consequences to every action. Yes, there's forgiveness, but there's consequences to every action, and people just have to understand that. And I also tell people that, I'm tired of complacent Black people who are just like, no, I don't want them arrested. No, I want them arrested underneath the jail. I don't care. I'm a person, you're going to lose everything, because you know darn well if you say something to me and it's derogatory, racist, or whatever, there are consequences for that stuff. I cannot deal with complacent. Yeah, I can forgive them in my heart, but they're going to jail. I'm not, because the thing is, what we're seeing in our lifetime is that these same people are the same offenders before. Oh, no, I'm not the no time. I'm sorry, I just can't do it. Because people will continuously make those same mistakes because they're not put in a position where they can lose everything. They're just not.
Exactly. So what do you think should be? What do you think the music world? And I know they took his music off the radio for a while, off the air. Now he's back touring. What do you think, in your heart of hearts, since you say this is a real talk, what do you think he should be doing right now? Do you think he should still be allowed to do music? What are your thoughts with that?
I think he should still be able to do music. The thing is, I'd rather a person say, you know what, I used it. The way that I used it was exactly the way that I used it, period. Own up to your mistakes. Own up to your being. Just own up to it. When I say I agree with the cancel culture, I think everybody should get what they sow, what they read, whatever. They should get that at that moment, because he said it. He did it. Yes. Did he make a mistake? Yes. Should he be forgiven? Yes. But at the same time, I'm sure he was aware that what he said was wrong. And so people need to be made accountable for that. Should he continue to do music? Yes, because there's a year from now and nobody's going to care. And this is the way America works. The more bad press you get, the more press you're going to get, and made him even more famous. I didn't know who he was until this happened. Now he's all over the place. If he plays music somewhere and people just are so disgusted, he's still getting famous off of this. So, okay, he's met with the NAACP and all these different people, and he's gone through the wire with doing this, that, and the other, blah, 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 blah. Hopefully he has learned from this situation and we can move on from the situation. And the reason being that he should be allowed to do music is because, he said it was a mistake. Let's go at his word. And the other problem is that you have all these Black people using the N-word in their songs, which I don't understand why they do it. Here's another problem for me. You put it in the song, and then you don't want certain people to do it, to sing it. I'm sorry, boo-boo.
Right. So it's okay if I say it, but y'all can't see it. But then I want, but because
right.
you know who's buying the music. Who's buying the music with them
right.
saying that?
So,
We know who's buying the music.
I was telling my uncle yesterday, okay, if they're going to do, my uncle was like, well, it's the fault of people buying the music. No. I said, if I'm going to buy the song, I'm singing every last word. And if you don't want me to sing it, don't put it in the song or give me 20 cents back, or give me a percentage back of what I paid. Because you shouldn't be able to tell me, I bought your music. Don't tell me what to do.
No, you're right. You're right. And yeah, it's two sides. It's two sides to that coin.
Yeah.
And I guess for me, I would wish, I think you should be able to do music, but I wish there was some sort of how they have anger management and things like that. I wish there was some sort of program. Let him come and spend a month with me and my family, like not in Nashville, but like back home where you're in the midst. So then you really can feel and embrace the culture and be a part of it if you're that unaware of things. But I think if it, it goes back to what you said at the end too. Love is going to prevail, and unfortunately, things aren't necessarily always equal for this race or what have you. It's like comparing apples to oranges. So I think you have to move on. If you want things to be better for this set of people, you got to move on and let this be better for this person. So unfortunately, it becomes a give and take. But how they have, like I said, they have anger management and all these other courses. I think it would be good just if he could have, and it's something because we started to reach out to him just to see if that was a possibility. And we don't necessarily have to do a song together, but just to see whatever's in his back of his mind. And I don't know how he grew up, so I can't say that, hey, that is a very hurtful thing. That's a hurtful word that you use. And, you should be celebrating, all races, all colors, all ethnicities, because we're all wonderful and uniquely made, and just celebrating everyone. So I grew up, not seeing color, and kids could be horrible. I got called zebra. I got called Oreo, all these other things, because I learned what love is, universal love. Love is not the color of someone's skin, and I remember growing up, my grandma was like, you know what, baby, she's just like, sometimes, and it's real, as an adult, I see it. Sometimes your own people are worse than you than your own, then your own blood could be worse to you than a stranger or something. So you base it on how people treat you, not by the color of someone's skin. Just because someone is black or someone's brown or whatever the case, and their skin looks like yours, it doesn't mean that they're going to be down for you or have your best intentions, at heart. So you have to look at how people are treating you. So I look at that, and my grandma was just like, whatever you do, be the best person. And I think just my foundation, it's like you can, and I tell people, hey, when you're mad or you're dealing with whatever, you have to guard your words, because when those words go out there, baby, you put them out in the ether, and that's what they are. And now you're backpedaling, you're trying to apologize, but the words that you've spoken have done so much damage to other people. So now you got to do damage control, and now you got to make up and try to get that trust back. And sometimes people get it back, and sometimes people will never get it back. So it's just something.
Now, how do you feel about Black people in general in the country music scene? Do you think that we're on the rise? Do you think we're in the back? Or do you think we're in the middle? I follow Reese Palmer, and she started a Color Me Country Foundation organization, which has been great. But where do you see Blacks in the country music scene? Because I think it's still somewhat of an uphill battle.
Girl, I personally think it still is an uphill battle. The sad thing is that, unfortunately, people that love country music think that Blacks may not belong in that genre of music or whatever. But the banjo, the history of the banjo from Africa, and all these things, when you look at the instrumentation, when you look at the storytelling, you look at the soul that's embedded down in the roots of what country music is, you can't deny Blacks being a part of it. Right. I think Blacks are slightly on the rise. There are a ton of Blacks that are going for it right now, which I think is great. Go for it, your passion, your dream, and what have you. But I think we're not to the mountain, as they say, we're not to the mountaintop yet. It still is an uphill battle. I think that maybe some people are, and this guy actually had a conversation with me the other day. And he was just like, I think it's great. They have all these black people. Every time you turn around, all these black people are putting out country music. They're doing this, that, the other. And I think it's really great. But at the same time, he made the statement that I think labels are picking, okay, I got one. I got two over here. Okay, I got one here. Okay, I got my one and what have you. So I think the floodgates still aren't open. I think there's still a lot of work to do. I think that, all black artists out there just continue to, hopefully people are doing it for the right reasons.
Right.
Unfortunately, I think some people aren't doing it for the right reasons. I think some people think that, hey, this is a great opportunity since there aren't blacks there. Let me go and hop on the bandwagon. So I think that makes a difference for the people that it's their passion and it's their life. It's who they are. I think that they just got to stay true to their faith, stay true to their craft. And I think, hopefully in this lifetime, the doors will open for them, even for myself. It's a struggle, but I refuse to give up because I know that it's something inside of me, and I'm supposed to do it. And just my upbringing, how I am, with saying, hey, this is music. There's no color. This is my life. I don't see color. I see people, individuals, how they treat me, how they respond. I just think those things are so much more important. I just think that we also, in my own opinion, that we still have more work to do. But I'm happy to see that more and more black people are getting involved in country music. It is their passion. And I think I would probably like to see just more unity because we are the minority, and we are the minority in country music. And it just seems like maybe there's not as much unity or what have you. And, we're all trying to get it, but I don't know, it's just something about there's unity and there's power in numbers, and working together and standing together that it can make a difference. And celebrating every country artist, their own unique individuality, because we're all different. I heard someone say, oh, well, wait a minute, are you jealous of this person? They sing a little better. Or what about this person? They're doing this. You know what? I'm in my own lane. I don't have time to worry about this person or that person's doing. I have to worry about myself and honing on my skill, my craft, my instrument, my voice, and just getting better. I'm not worried about what this or that one's doing. I just want to be the best that I can be and just break barriers in my lane and what I'm supposed to be doing.
Amen to that. Now we're going to play your song, Kiss an Angel Good Morning. Tell us what that's about.
Oh, Kiss an Angel Good Morning. Oh, my goodness. When I redid this song less than a year ago, I was super psyched about it because my dad used to sing it when I was a little girl, growing up in Oregon around the house. Kiss an Angel Good Morning. He used to sing all the Charlie Pride songs, Mr. Charlie Pride songs. And I was just hoping, I knew I wanted to remake one of his songs because he was just very influential in country music for black artists. He broke barriers and what have you. So I was super psyched about doing it. And then I was hoping that someday I'm like, okay, I'm going to do this song. I'm going to put it out. Someday Mr. Charlie Pride is going to hear it. And then he's going to want to perform the song with me. Lo and behold, unfortunately, by the time it gotten mixed and mastered, unfortunately, he passed away due to COVID. So it's just like, okay, those childhood dreams and all of those dreams are kind of shattered and what have you. But it's a tribute and it's a rendition to him. But I've just made it just a little bit more modern, and I've used my own voicing, so it's me. But it is truly a tribute to the late great Mr. Charlie Pride. Kiss an Angel Good Morning.
All right, let's play it.
Whenever I chance to meet some old friends on the street, they wonder, how does a girl get to be this way? secret of happiness, but some of them never learn. It's a simple thing. The secret I'm speaking of is a woman and a man in love, and the answer is in the song that I always sing. You've got to kiss an angel good morning and let her know you think about her when you're gone. Kiss an angel good morning and love him like a devil when you get back home. Kiss an angel good morning, love him like a devil. Kiss an angel good morning and let him know you think about him when you're gone. Kiss an angel good morning and love him like a devil when you get back home. Kiss an angel good morning and let him know you think about him when you're gone. Kiss an angel good morning and love him like a devil when you get back home. Kiss an angel, kiss an angel. Kiss an angel,
That was fantastic.
Thank you. Thank you.
What do
My heart
you love?
just melted hearing that.
No,
'Cause
yeah,
I was thinking about him. Oh my goodness.
that would have been great if you could have recorded with him, but you might be able to do it. They have times when they can splice the singer's voice with yours. I mean, they can do so many things now with technology. You never know.
I know.
Still do
I
it.
know.
What do you love about being an artist?
Honestly, that's easy for me because I'm so analytical, and I've just been in the corporate world my whole life, in the military, and just working so hard and doing so much. When I'm doing music, I feel free. So I love the fact that I feel free. That's what's most important. And when I'm doing music, I truly, it's a two-edged sword because it's a good thing that I get lost in music, but I can't forget about the world and responsibilities and things. But I love music that it's like at that point in time that's all that matters.
What is the one thing you wish you had learned or known before you entered the music industry?
I probably wish I would have saved a lot more money. That's one of the things that would have been really nice. Because everything is so expensive when you're doing it you're on your own as an independent and you don't have investors. And I mean, you invest in other people. You're investing in yourself, so you're pouring life savings. And I tell people there's no guarantee, and the only guarantee any of us have, I don't care, relationship, life, work, or whatever, the only guarantee any of us have is that someday we're going to leave this earth, we're going to die. So that is the only guarantee. So no one can make false promises or what have you. And you just trust in God. You trust in the higher power. If He's leading you, that all of the things that you're doing, that it won't be in vain. All of your sacrifices and what have you, it won't be in vain. But I wish I would have saved more money. I wish maybe I would have had a business plan for the music and maybe try to find some investors or something.
I agree with you on that one. That's serious. So what's next for you?
Oh, I'm glad you asked that, Nat. Do you like to be called Nat or Natalie? Or both?
Call me whatever you want.
All right. Well, right, I'm going to call you Nat then.
Okay.
I think I was going to say Natalie, but I'm going to stick with Nat since I'm chatting with Nat.
All right.
Then the thing that's next for me is radio promotion. That's it's not the ultimate. It's one of the ultimate things. That's the next go-to. So I've done some I've done the live streaming. I've done streaming on the on Spotify, on the platforms and what have you. I'm trying to work my TikTok. The other thing, I got to work my TikTok. So y'all please go follow me on TikTok, Brei Carter 1, BreiCrter1. I need some help there on TikTok. I'm just trying to learn that platform. But the next big thing, honestly, in all seriousness, is radio promotion and going to radio, ideally Music Row, and going to the main radio stations being played, not just internet radio and other things like that. So I'm going all the way with that.
Right.
And I'm planning a radio tour, going to a radio station tour, so going to different radio stations and what have you, just to kind of promote myself.
That's really good. Have you ever thought about using Play MPE or CDX Nashville for your radio promotion?
Girl, get out my head. So I'm now, by the grace of God, I guess I can, let me give them kudos and press. So I've done with Singer-Songwriter Records, I've done CDX before. So now with grassroots promotions or grassroots productions or media out of Nashville, we are now, we're going to do Play MPE. I have a great publicist, Mr. Jason Ashcraft, what have you. So through him and his support and working with grassroots, we're going that route. So we're going all the way now. So now we're gonna, as they say, how you play the minor leagues. Mm-hmm. I think now I'm trying to make my way to the major leagues now. I'm trying to play with the big boys and girls, so to speak.
And you can do it. You can do it. I've used both Play MPE and CDX Nashville on several of my songs. But you're right. You definitely need to have a budget to be able to do all that. And as for TikTok, let me tell you, I did a seminar this past pandemic last year, and they were saying how you need to do 5 videos a day. Who has time to do 5 videos a day? I haven't done one in a while. I need to do one too. But what they said is that the videos that are most popular are the authentic ones. They say people gravitate to real people. So I think that's fantastic. I have a friend that she manages her son, and they actually take 3 hours, I think, a day just to do TikTok videos. And by doing that,
wow,
he got 30,000 followers. And I said, good for you. Nat, that's time to do 3 videos, 5 videos a day, trying to come up with stuff to say. I mean, I have me and my music. I also have my kittens on there. For now, they're 1 year old now, but doing stuff, and I forced my mom to get on there with me when the pandemic started. We're doing this. So yeah, no, I completely understand you when it comes to TikTok. I really didn't want to do TikTok until Birdie from B Squared was like, Natalie, you need to get on there, blah blah. And I was like, well,
right, we have to do it.
Yeah, it's annoying. What people don't understand with this music business is that we have to be on every darn platform that there is and post every day. You have TikTok, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, Snapchat, Clubhouse, and all this stuff. And a friend of mine just posted on Facebook that, when you're posting, you try not to just post just to post, post some real content. And another people that Nikki and I interviewed the other day, they were saying, this promotional company, how if you're posting on several platforms, you should not post the same thing on each platform. Listen, I cannot come up with 6 things. Well, right now I could probably, because I have 70 singles come out, but I had 2 million different things to say on several different platforms. I just don't. I could say, why am I on here? It's just so everybody needs to understand that you're getting into the music business. It's a lot of work, especially if you're
it's a lot of work.
Have anybody?
So not only social media before you get into your music, it's studio time, it's vocalizing, vocal practice, it's your writing, making sure you're staying in tune with that. It's about music. It's about mental health. We said earlier, keeping yourself together mentally, spiritually, physically. I mean, it's diet and make sure you're eating right. It's making sure you're getting enough rest. It's making sure you're nurturing the right relationships. And it's a lot of pressure. It's a lot.
We could write a book about this mess. Now, what is the one quote or message that you like to use on a daily basis to push yourself, if you use one?
You know, there are several things probably that I use, and it's in one of the songs. One of my friends is, I think it's Annie Oakley, and I think it's kind of like, well-behaved women, they rarely make history. So you know what? Sometimes you got to shake things up. You can't be afraid, and you got to do it afraid. And another thing, love so hard that it hurts. Give it your all. I mean, it's not really love if it doesn't hurt at some point in time, so to speak. And that's not in a negative way, but it's when you love so hard that you're willing to risk things for that love, whether it's, you know, the love of a relationship, love of your career, your music, love of a family member. You love hard and you love unconditionally, and you give whatever that thing, or you give it your all, because there's nothing promised to any of us. And then just trying to, I remember being younger, like in high school and even college, my big thing was, it was a scripture, Philippians, I think it's 4:16. I can do all things through Christ which strengthen me. So I have to now, I've kind of gone back to that, putting it in my mind, I can do this, I can do this, I can do this. And, you know, someone told me recently, because I say, I'm trying. We take trying out of our vocabulary. I'm doing. Because since words have so much power, we don't try to do something, we do it. Now, it may take you a little longer to get there, but we're not trying, we're doing. So, and then I remember Prince Board from Black Eyed Peas, not last summer, but the summer before, when I did a camp in L.A., he was just talking about, you know, when you stay ready, you don't have to get ready. So that's something that stayed in my head. It's like, I don't want to get ready for a show. I want to already be ready for the show. I want to already be in that space and that mindset. So I'm just trying hard just to, like I said, not competing against the next person, but competing with myself, just to make sure that I'm giving my all, and that I am being the best that I can be. Or as the Army says, be all that you can be, that I'm being all that I can be, so to speak.
Amen. I love it. Well, this has been awesome. I love having you on Chatting with Nat. I can't wait to see what else you have in store for the country music scene, because you're about to blow up. You better blow up.
Yes, I receive it. Yes, speak it to me, girl. Speak it. Yes, say it.
Blow up. Your name is going to be in lights, because we're both breaking down those boundaries. I know what it's like, you know.
Yes, thank you, Lord.
I'm an Americana / country, and you know, I just won Best Americana Artist in this music awards thing. But I'm doing it. We're both going to do it. We're both going to rise.
We're going to do it. So wait, are you going to be in Nashville next week?
So I won't be in Nashville, but I'm going to Pigeon Forge, Tennessee, Thursday for the Josie Music Awards. But
awesome.
But the next time I'm in Nashville, I'll definitely email you and contact you so we can.
Girl, we better connect. I'm sending you my personal number. You better stay in touch with. Look, I'm your new sister. I'm from Louisiana. I'm your new cousin.
That's right. No, let's listen. I'm up for all kinds of collaborations and doing things together. So let's definitely talk. I think we can make beautiful music together. I
completely agree. So I'm wishing you blessings, love, and light, and great success on your continued journey.
Oh, you too. I know you. Listen, light. Your name is Light at the CMA.
Yes, girl, get out my head.
And you're going to play at the country music festivals and do all that thing. Yeah, they're going to know your name. They're going to say, who's this? Who? Yes. Brei Carter, everybody. Thank you, Brei, for chatting with Nat. That's a singer-songwriter, Brei Carter. She's amazing. She has a beautiful voice. She's talented. And she also speaks her truth. She's not afraid to be who she is. And she wants to heal the world. And she's breaking down barriers. Hell, we don't need those barriers because we're doing our thing. And Brei Carter is doing her thing from my lips to God's ears. Her name is already in lights. Thank you, Brei.
Thank you, Nat. I appreciate it. Be safe, okay?
All right. Have
Bye.
a nice week. That was this
You
is
as well.
singer-songwriter Brei Carter. Follow her, Google her, just get to know her. Until next time on Chatting with Nat. Chatting with Nat is a podcast for independent women seeking to speak their truth and to break down barriers. We host honest conversations that help to guide and empower women. Speak your truth and set yourself free. Let your voice be heard.